Hey, I'm Colleen Taylor, Backstage live at TechCrunch Disrupt San Francisco with the winner of our Disrupt New York startup Battlefield, the CEO of the winning company, Craig Walker.
Good to be here.
Thanks for coming, and of course, this big shiny thing is the Disrupt Cup, which you will have to part with today.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to lose it. It's been in our office for the last 4 months. It's a little worse for wear. I mean, it came a little worse for wear, but it's been great having it in the lobby every day. So, we are going to miss it.
Nice. How much has been drunk out of the cup?
Quite well. It didn't get a lot. It got some in New York, and then it was dry for 4 months, and then 2 nights ago it really got a workout. So.
Nice. Good. It's good to have fun with the cup. I want to get into Uberconference and how things have been going for you guys as a company and FireSpotter Labs and everything. But first, just right now as we speak, a bunch of companies now, 7 companies, are waiting to take the stage. From your experience, what's going through their minds right now?
Yeah, just trying to remember what it is you're going to say. And, I mean, that was really the craziest thing, because you walk up on stage and all of a sudden there's lights in your face and the music stops and it's just silent. And although the room is packed, you can't really see it all, and it's just kind of like this panic moment of, am I going to forget anything? So it's what's going through their minds probably, or what was going through mine was just, okay, remember like the first line. If I can get through that, everything will flow. But that's about it. Was
there any kind of last minute quick changes to the Uberconference app in those last?
We were we launched on stage. So just to get everything ready to launch, and no matter how you prepare for it, there's always last minute things. So having it available to launch on the time, like right at the time when we were coming out, was pretty stressful, but our engineers did a great job and got us in.
Now, the judging panel will have a few of, if not all of the same folks that you went up in front of. There's Roelof Botha, there's Marissa Meyer, there's Mike Arrington, there's David Lee of SV Angel. I'm not sure if he was there. But it's this great group of judges. Any advice on facing them? Yeah,
the biggest challenge was getting questions from Michael Arrington after the presentation. But it was you just got to think on your toes, and most of these guys have been talking to VCs or recruiting candidates, so they're used to a lot of questions and they're probably pretty adept at answering them. So I'm sure it will go well.
Now, obviously, you've run and sold a very successful company before, Grand Central, the app that sold to Google and became Google Voice. But that didn't win Disrupt. What was your experience here? What did winning the Disrupt Cup, how did that affect your company?
It was, first it was great to get a lot of coverage, because you just launched an app or launched a service that you want to get people to talk about and write about. So I think we've gotten a lot of just increased awareness, and Uberconference as a brand is becoming pretty established, and it just really helped on the awareness side. We weren't planning on raising our Series B till at the end of the summer. It accelerated that by a couple of months. And just all the goodness that comes with winning. It just kind of created a lot of positive momentum, and that goes into hiring, that goes into PR, that goes into kind of everything you do, and it's just like a wonderful way to come out of the gates.
Absolutely. And how has the app itself, how's the growth been? You mentioned the funding. Can you get into specifically what kind of funding you raised? And
yeah, so we raised a $15 million Series B. Andreessen Horowitz led it, and Google Ventures was our Series A investor. They participated. And the app itself has evolved quite a bit. So, telephony is pretty complex. Conferencing telephony is even more complex. And then tying the web to that and making real-time controls from the web control the phone calls, even more complex. So, over the last 4 months, we spent a lot of time trying to really nail that down and improve quality, while at the same time adding more features. So, the ability to do an instant conference without having to schedule them. That was something that users were demanding immediately, so we put that in immediately. Being able to get local numbers in all our paid features, so have the system call out to start a conference call, that was another big thing. So we were able to kind of battle harden it and add features during those last 4 months.
And how has your team grown? And can you explain also, FireSpotter Labs is sort of the umbrella parent company to Uberconference. How big is your team?
Yeah, so the team is 18 now. There's 2 others starting at the end of the month, so we're going to be at 20 soon. Like I mentioned earlier in the update, we're moving to San Francisco. Yeah. We're looking to hire a number of more software engineers, mobile developers. We do have mobile platforms under development, but we'd like to beef up those teams, both Android and iOS, so feel free, jobs at uberconference.com. But it's grown, and FireSpotter is effectively, for lack of a better word, was a bit of an incubator where we work on a lot of different things. We're now pretty much focusing on the voice-related products. One we have called Nosh List, which is a great SMS-based iPad app for restaurants. We're almost about to seed our 3 millionth diner, or however you say that, but
wow.
And it's great, and that just launched in February, so that's taken off really well. So that will one day become its own company. Okay. And I think FireSpotter and Uberconference will somewhat merge into one.
I see. So you've got a lot of work ahead of you still, it sounds like.
Of course.
Always.
Yeah.
Now, did you get a chance to see any of these companies that are about to present?
You know, I saw a few of them, but I was spending most of the time out at the booth.
Okay,
So I really didn't get the opportunity to see as many as I wanted to, but I'm really looking forward to being able to go see them now.
Any early favorites that kind of caught your eye? I know the Lit Motors car is just so, visual.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like the GTAR guys who we were up against in New York. It's very visual. The Gift guys, I was able to see them and I was able to see their product. I really like that. So if I have one early favorite, I'd say it would be them.
Gift.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gift is the gift card app, which some people might think that gift cards it's already been done, but it's a billions and billions of dollars industry.
Yeah, and I had a chance to go to their booth and see what they were doing, and I thought it was really great.
Cool. What other booths did you go to? Did you check out any others out there that maybe didn't make it to this finals or the Startup Alley?
I've wandered around quite a bit. I mean, it's kind of a blur now, and TechCrunch every year is a blur, and they probably stay out too late at night and not get enough sleep.
Every single time.
And I can't believe it happens. Just 4 months ago it happened. So, it's really hard to have anything other than just a few jump out at me. But the entire experience is kind of what I love.
How do you think this compares to Disrupt New York, which was back in May, which is the one that you guys won?
Yeah, well, I think New York will always have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
But very similar, to tell you the truth. Very similar. Great competition, great companies, a lot of really interesting entrepreneurs. I mean, it's really fun to come to these year after year after year, and you get to know people, and they're on their third company, or their original one's doing really well, or they got bought and they left, and it's it's really neat to kind of see it evolve. But I don't know. I was super impressed. Like seeing Zuckerberg yesterday in the standing room only, just how crowded that was, and the amount of news that was here, just wanting to know what he was going to say, and they moved the stock price of a multi-billion-dollar company for 20 minutes of talking. It was just it really let you realize there's a lot of impact.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it was huge yesterday.
Yeah.
It was just everywhere. It wasn't just the tech industry.
Yeah.
It was everything. I want to talk about the video that you just showed
Sure.
on stage. Who produced that? I just think the video quality was really great.
Yeah, we're really lucky. Our one of my co-founders, Alex Cornell, he's our designer, and he's also really talented at doing these videos.
Wow.
And the actor in that is this guy, Phil Mills, who's an actor in New York, but Alex's best friend, and he comes out and they screw around for a weekend with cameras and come back with these videos.
Wow, so you didn't even have to pay any extra for that video. That was just part of his salary.
Yeah, we've done like 6 videos. We did a Jotly video, we did a Nosh video, we did a Nosh List video, we did an Uberconference video, we did the Disrupt video, we did a 404 page video, and they've all been done by Alex and Phil kind of on the weekends.
And the Jotly thing, I'm not sure how many people are aware. It's pretty funny. It was a joke, but then it was kind of real. Can you talk a little bit about Jotly?
Yeah, so Jotly was a joke app that was going to let you rate anything, like rate the ice cube in your glass, or rate the leaf on a tree, or rate the friction on a slide. And it was just kind of a we had an app out at the time called Nosh that let you rate food in restaurants, and it just seemed like it was almost becoming overkill. There was just too much like rate something apps, so we did this video, which was just a joke video of, hey, we're going to do an app that lets you rate absolutely everything. And then, frankly, after the video, a lot of people wanted the app. So one of our engineers actually worked on it for for a couple weeks in his spare time, and we launched it. And we now have an iPad and an iPhone version,
How
or
is it
an iPhone
doing?
and an Android version.
Yeah, how's it doing? What's
It's
the usership?
hysterical. Like, go to Jotly. You can go to jotly.co and you can see the live feed, and there's still lots of people jotting.
That's amazing.
It's really funny.
That's funny. Have you seen Gooza?
I haven't.
It's this comedian out of New York who is fake launching a company,
Oh,
but
really?
it's a little bit less real seeming than Jotly is. But all they do is kind of talk about their company culture and these ideas
yeah.
that Gooza's going to have, and it's really it's a funny thing, but it's funny at first. People take it seriously. I think I actually emailed him and said, "Oh, can you tell me a little bit more about your plans for Gooza?" And then I felt like such an idiot because it quickly became clear that he was joking.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. It was like Jotly has his own Jot account, and he jots, from the app's perspective, writes these things, and the amount of literally when we did it, we thought everyone would get it was a joke, and virtually no one thought it was a joke. They thought, okay, someone's going to write an app to do anything, and it was hysterical. Wall Street Journal came and did a front page story on it because kind of like just the comedy of what the Valley's become at times.
Right.
But it's been, it's funny that it will never die. It's, we'll always have Jotly out there.
Yeah, it's definitely true. And I noticed in the video it was shot up on Hawk Hill, I think is where that was. And
right.
it was a beautiful day in San Francisco, so it was a good time to shoot that video. So what has been the feedback from users of Uberconference? I know we at TechCrunch have been using it internally for our own conference calls. I don't know if you've gotten any customer support emails from the folks here, but
I remember getting you a 415 number long ago to let you start working on that. Feedback's been great. I mean, literally the metrics we track are average call duration, which is probably the biggest metric of, are people using it for business and seriously using it, or is it a lot of just people testing or screwing around? And the fact that we're at 35 minutes tells me that quality is certainly good enough to support, this business conference system, and that people are actually using it for real conference calls. So feedback's been awesome. We have a lot to do. I really want to get the mobile, I want to get it on the iPad, I want to get it on iPhone, I want to get it on Android, I want to get it on Nexus 7. I want to do it internationally. I want to add more features to it. I mean, it's a never-ending list. But as far as the feedback of, I love reading our Twitter feed. If you just do a search on Uberconference, it's like, yes, everyone has this pain on conference calls. They're terrible. So being able to solve that problem is great because you realize, you do get a lot of rabid, happy users if you can solve real problems.
Right, it's the idea of making something that maybe not everyone thinks is a sexy, exciting space, but it's a huge problem, and if you make something good, then people jump onto it, I guess.
Exactly.
Great, well there's so much to talk about here, but there's also so much going on out there in the startup alley and things like that, and so we're going to cut right now to a slideshow of some of the best photos that we've taken from the past 3 days at Disrupt San Francisco, so check it out.